Hello everyone, this is Windman the Wizard, and I am back. And today we will be talking about the 2008 Xserve. But before I get into that, I'd just like to say to everyone that has subscribed, we're almost at 20 subs. I am extremely happy about that. So thank you to everyone new that subscribed. I'm really, I can't thank you enough. I didn't think, I know this might sound pathetic, but this is, really blown up. In my opinion, we're almost at 80 views on the video as I'm filming this. So I'm just really thankful for all of the feedback I've gotten. You guys have been great. I'd love to keep making videos now. This is going to become a really nice, fun thing for me to do. I don't just want to keep doing videos on Xserves. I may upload a different video this week. If you guys would tell me maybe what you'd like, a Mac Pro or a Power Mac G5 or an iMac, or anything, even Windows stuff. I'll do Windows stuff. I'll do anything that I have if you want a hardware review on it. And I'm trying to up my production value. I'm sorry it's a little shaky. That's the life of not having a tripod. Thank you for your comment on that. Also, I agree. I had a comment on the G4 video about how poorly designed this was in some ways with its noise and everything, and I totally agree. Especially with, I don't know if I said it, but 4 drives gives you a better RAID redundancy than 3. But on these, their reasoning for why they had 3 drives is for cooling. I think that was really necessary on the G5s. Maybe not as much the Intel ones. But yeah, again, I just want to thank everyone so much for subscribing. Right now, though, we're in a little bit of low on viewer time, so maybe I'm a little too boring and I ramble too much. The average isn't necessarily great. It's about 10% for the entire video, so. And I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just saying I need to work on it. So anyways, yeah, if you guys want to see anything else that I have, please, I'd love to show it off. No one ever really takes a look at it. I have this huge collection that I don't show off, so you'd give me a reason to get it out and turn it on. But anyways, we'll be taking a look at this 2008 Xserve, and I went ahead and printed off the Mac Tracker stuff so I didn't have to add it into the comments. So maybe we could talk about it a little bit. This is a base model, and according to this, it was $2,999 for the base config, which, as far as I know, this is. It has had some upgrades, I believe. It has the single 2.8 gigahertz 5400 series Xeon. I think, yep, this is just the base 80 gig hard drive, as I thought. I think I have added another drive in it. Yeah, I have. This is out of a broken G5 that I had. This is like a 1 terabyte. It came with 10.5.1 server, which, I like 10.5. I think it's a great version of OS 10. Right now it has 10.5.8. And I think at this one, I don't have the GPU in it. I took it out and put some PCI Express one in for a newer version of OS 10 than was supported. And then, latest version officially on this is, believe 10.7. And then, these are just some of the other specs, the amperage, the watts. Officially, it only supported 3 1 terabyte drives. I don't know if that's gone up. But this is the Xserve I use probably, well, I use this and the G4 equally as less. This thing doesn't have as, many issues. It's quieter. It's much more like these. It doesn't use as much power, and for what I use it for, is heat. So that's kind of why I don't use it as much. Also, I like my dual processor one that has 12 gigs of RAM. So, and I do run file sharing and stuff off the G5 and then this one. So I like having more RAM. Also, I forgot to mention, you may notice the servers are off. I understood that the noise was pretty bad last time. This time it should be much quieter. So let's pull this thing out. And, I just thought, why the heck not? Maybe we could take a look behind the rack and see the mess that has become my server rack. This used to be all organized, all of the cables and stuff. I mean, look, I use this so little. I don't even have it plugged in to anything. Oh, and another thing that I like about the Intel ones, you probably can't see it, I'll show it when I get it out, is the tag for the hardware. And I will get a tripod. So if we can hit 50 subscribers, I'll get a tripod for my phone. So it's a little more stable, it's not so shaky. So, thank you for, again, bearing with me on this. Just trying to get things set up. This also has that stupid cover on the top that I despise with a passion. I don't know why Apple went with that design. Oh, there's my drive key. If you don't know what this does, it's just, I think I might have showed it before, you can lock the drives. But let me get this pulled out and on the bench, and we will talk about it just momentarily. I'm editing the video. I realized that the stupid phone recorded the hardware teardown vertically. So I'm refilming this. So hopefully it'll be better for you guys. So first thing is, obviously the cooling has improved significantly from the previous Xserves, and this really started in the G5, and it led to this over the 06. I believe the internals of the 06, the 07, and the 08, and the 09 are virtually the same. And I believe right in here somewhere, if you had the optional stupid SATA module that has that expensive battery that dies, it would fit in here somewhere. But, the cooling's improved from these vent channels on the front. And, it's pretty... it's one of the better servers I've seen cooling-wise. They're very serious about it. And I think it was from all the flack they caught from the G4. The only thing I don't like about this, that the G5 has over this, is there's this stupid cover that you have to take off. And I'll do that real quick and come back. But... yeah, you have to take it off to get to the CPUs, so be back in just a second. Okay, now that I have this taken off, you could see about how much more serious they were about cooling. There's these little pieces of foam that fit on the channels here that fit over the coolers. So I would say I'm no thermal engineer or anything, but I would say they're very serious about keeping the cooling separated CPU to CPU so they know which fan to spin up. Especially on this, because these fins are usually close to being spun down. They're a lot lower than these fans over here are that cool the CPU. You can tell that these are single CPUs, at least on the 08s. Again, I don't have an 07 or an 06, so I'm assuming, but the copper heat sinks mean that it's or copper coated, mean that it has a CPU underneath it. These aluminum, just blank ones, don't have a CPU. They also don't have the temperature sensor, which, if I could take it off, would look like this. This is for the North Bridge. But there is a socket under here. You can add a CPU. You just have to get the right cooler, and those are on eBay. I don't believe they're terribly expensive either. It's got 4 gigs. It has 4 gigs of RAM. It's been upgraded. I added some HP RAM from a 06 Mac Pro I had. So this is all DDR2 800 ECC. It's missing the GPU. I took it out a long time ago to mess with it, and it's in my mess of a shelf somewhere. So I cannibalized a Mac Pro for this GT120. And I really need to get the original GPU, and it's pretty easy. You just, to change the stuff out, there's these 2 screws here, and you take these 2 screws out, and then you can lift this module out, and then there's a screw back here, and you take this off. I believe it's PCI Express 64-bit that you can change these out. There's some upgrades, or it's the nicer version of PCI, because you can fit like the fiber channel card from the G4 and the G5 in it for the RAID. And if there was it's got to focus. If there was a card in it, this would be a mini display port, micro display port, whatever it is on this generation. No, it's mini DVI. Mini DVI. There's no micro display port. It's mini DVI, and then the 09 has mini display port, and then. And see, there's a mini display port because this is from an 09 Mac Pro. System identifier light on the back. Dual gigabit Ethernet. The card that Shows you the serial, the specs, and everything. So this was obviously a base model. This would be easier if you were in IT and you wanted to just pull this out and look at it. If you're talking to support on the phone, you can give them your serial. You can see your specs, so you know what's in it. Dual FireWire 800. I miss that these don't have FireWire 400. That disappoints me. And then two USB 2 ports. And again, they're really serious about this Northbridge cooling. I mean, that's a big boy. And then it has hot swap power supplies, which aren't common until, I think, the Intels. I don't think the G5 has a hot swap power supply. No, it doesn't. No? I don't remember. But I'll keep my mouth shut. This is a 750 watt power supply. And then there's a blank, so if you want to add another power supply, you can. And I believe that option was pretty costly, so it's a couple $100. That's why it doesn't have it. And then it has these nice doors that flap down and seal up the channel on the inside to keep the airflow working the way it should. Other than that, I mean, it has the same stupid lock design. I mean, I don't know how secure you want it, but why plastic? If you can get something, you can shear it off, even if you don't have the key. I mean, it's not that hard to get a key. It's not made for security necessarily. It's just made to keep people from tampering. Everything's easy, quick disconnect. All this, the fan module comes out with 2 screws, and you can just pop it right out. Standard CR2032, that's common with all the Intel stuff. Apple using those half AA batteries was stupid. I don't know why they ever used that. And then on the front, all of the Intel ones have USB 2 on the front instead of FireWire 400 like the PowerPC ones do. Other than that, I mean, obviously the size is the same. It's 1U. The internals are very different. The G5 is closer to this. Apple fixed a lot of the problems that the G4 had in the G5, but this is really the better iteration. And you'll see in the 09 that it's built even better. Really is a last hurrah for the poor Xserve. Yeah, it was a good machine. And then even the CD drive is hot swap on these. I think it's hot swap on the G5 too. You know what the thing is? I don't remember that stuff for the G5 because one, it's not a G5 video, and two, it's so dang reliable that I never have to take it apart. I've only had it apart once, right after I got it to blow it out. These had never been cleaned in their life when they were running a school, so they were packed with dust. So these are actually, I know they look dusty. It's been a couple years since they've been cleaned, but I mean, I think they're doing pretty good for now. So there's really not too much to show you with this. And it can do software RAID. That is something I forgot to mention. It can do software RAID. It's just a pretty standard Xserve. And then there's this stupid cover that I despise that has these hooks in the front and then the thumb screws. It's just one extra thing you have to take apart that shouldn't even be there for a reason. So I guess let's get into the software tour now. Get into the software. So there are some differences. I guess you could say major differences between 10.5 server and 10.4 server. For example, I believe I have this set up as simplified. Server preferences is a thing, and it makes it easier. Instead of having to use server admin, you can use server preferences. Server admin was updated in 10.5 server. Yeah, see, the simple preferences can't be used, but it's pretty much just like system preferences. You click on it, you could toggle it on and off. So I can't really show that. I mean, it has the standard 10.5 interface. I believe this is on 10.5.8. Yep, it's on 10.5.8. It's a pretty quick server. It's pretty snappy. You could tell it's running a heavier operating system, though, compared to 10.4. And I mean, you know, the server monitor's been updated, so, you know, if I go to this server and type in my password, it's similar. I mean, other than it's a little more in detail on temperature, and, you know, this is the power supply ratings, and the IPs are a little bit, this has a lot more temperature sensors, so like the PCI slots, the Northbridge, all that stuff. I was right, that must have been the Northbridge. And then blowers, a lot more blowers obviously than the G4. and then a system identifier light, and you could do all the same stuff I showed on 10.4. You can get the profile report. You could turn it on, shut it down, whatever. This is also capable of having the fans controlled by SMC, though I wouldn't recommend doing that because it kind of bugs out how the fans work, and I've had it before where it cranks every fan in the system up all the way when I was trying to get it to run quieter. Let me just get into server admin real quick. Oh yes, and I've tried to keep this video under 20 minutes this time for everyone's viewing pleasure. So server admin opens here. This hard drive is somewhat incredibly slow. It always shows, I like this, it always shows that it has a RAID. Like, that's how Apple wanted you to set things up. Even though the RAID by this point was, in my opinion, terribly outdated, I still think it is, sadly. They never released the SATA version, which would have been awesome. But mainly you could just see stuff at a glance here, like logs. You can see a lot more, the CPU usage, network traffic. It's fairly similar. You can see file sharing and who has access and settings and everything and server updates, certificates. I was running a web server on this for a while. And then it's got the same services. I do have an Open Directory server that does work off this server, and I could show it off sometime, but it does run, and I do have user accounts. LDAP. It was kind of a pain to set up, but and then printer servers and web, and it's all. Matter of fact, they did make the web server on this fairly easy. I mean, if I fire it up, I believe it will start a forum site that the users on the server can use. Let's just open up Safari here, and we'll go to 127.0.0.1. We'll hit enter. Yeah. Mac OS X server, yeah, it makes a wiki and a blog. I mean, you can edit it. I think 10.6 server actually has kind of a forum site. It's okay. But yeah, this is just the placeholder. It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Some people dig that kind of stuff. Other than that, let me stop the web service. I mean, it's just as simple. It's that easy OS X on and off kind of stuff. It's sad this stuff's outdated and not very secure anymore. I mean, I could be wrong about the security, but that's how I see it. It's so old. Other than that, there's nothing really. This is how you show your directories to the directory utility. Every version has this, but this is how you show directory servers to computers that you add into the directory or the LDAP. And then it has RAID admin, which I will show off in the next video. We'll show off RAID admin. It has Xserve admin, system image. It's all the same. This version did add some stuff, different installs. I mean, it still has the server assistant, but this time you had some certain installs, like you had, I believe, workgroup, workgroup, user for like LDAP, workgroup installation, advanced installation, and then simple. Simple is where you get the normal admin preferences that they have hidden, the wherever it's at, the basic admin server preferences. Other than that, it's not too different from 10.4, other than some of the applications from 10.5, all of the applications from 10.5, and just generally being updated on a better platform. And obviously, this is a 64-bit CPU compared to the G4. I know we skipped a few generations here in about 4 years, but really there's not too much amazing in the software. The 10.5 Xserve, I'll show a lot more of this off because I just don't use this server much. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I have some, I think that's a Windows 7 ISO, and for a while I was running 10.10 on it, but I decided I didn't really like it. The 09 does a better job of running LCAP anyway, so it's not particularly special. As you could tell, when I do have it on, it's running Bionic, and that's pretty much what all of my servers do. That's, I don't know. That's what I use them for. That's what I enjoy using them for. I enjoy giving to charity, and they make a great heater in the winter. And also, iDisk was a big part of this. Mobile Me, the failure. And I've always loved the character they show Windows computers with blue screens of death in the icon. I've always found that funny. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully, if you guys let me know in the comments if you managed to watch all the way through to the end. I'm sorry about the rambling. I'm thinking about maybe typing up a script a little bit. But, if you have any computers that you want me to review before next week, I want to make a weekly video, at least until I finish the Xserves. So hopefully I have this video up in the next few hours, probably by sometime tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please leave a comment, like. Let's try to make this channel get 50 subs. I'd be so thrilled if I got 50 subscribers. That would literally mean so much to me. You guys mean so much to me as it is already. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.